Let's not say that he's a player who's coming in with low expectations around him. I've been really intrigued by the reviews that have come out about Endo from the Bundesliga over the past 24 hours or so. So much praise for him. He was playing in a Stuttgart side that has basically spent the last 3 seasons fighting against relegation, and yet he's clearly been the standout. All the experts in the German top flight would say, he's such a good player with a high enough ceiling to maybe come in at Liverpool and make a really big impact. He's very intelligent, will run for days, and those are 2 things that Jurgen Klopp absolutely loves in a player. He wants that energy in there, but he also wants that intelligence, knowing how to cut off passing lanes. So could be a really smart acquisition. And you would look at the stats that are coming out around it in terms of his Bundesliga contributions, really high in tackles, interceptions, good with the ball as well. These are all things that you want from your holding midfielder, particularly at Liverpool as well. So some really good reviews coming out of him. So could really sort of turn out to be a shrewd signing. I think the crucial element we've got to consider here in terms of how the signing will be considered is what exactly the role he's going to take on now. I was minded when I saw that the news of this signing breaking last night. I thought about a quote that Jurgen Klopp had said during pre-season, one of the press conferences held, and it was about James Milner actually, who obviously departed on a free transfer this summer. He said of him, James Milner always came on and finished the game off. We have to have a player for that role. Now, if Endo is coming in to fulfill that role, he looks to me in terms of statistically and the reviews, as I mentioned, he's getting from Bundesliga experts, he looks like he could be a really smart acquisition in terms of that. He has that experience behind him, but also the engine to get about and close out games.
Good news! Liverpool have agreed a deal for a midfielder. I'm going to take you through the details in a couple of moments' time and let you guys know. I don't think it's going to be the last one. I think there's going to be another one coming in the next few days as well. Liverpool have agreed a fee of about €18 million with Stuttgart for Wataru Endo, who is a former Japanese captain, I believe, Stuttgart's captain, and he's a 30-year-old midfielder. But don't let that fool you. A lot of people are getting frustrated going, this is a joke of a signing, this is an Arthur Melo 2.0. It isn't. And I've got to be honest, I've learned a lot tonight. Not only is this man extremely proficient in the central defensive midfield role, he can play left-sided centre-back, he can play right-back, he can play left-back. His stats are unreal. His injury track record is pretty much non-existent. And I understand it, and I like it. I like the signing. Nothing wrong with adding some experience. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I think this is a brilliant signing. I do. Nothing wrong with a bit of versatility after losing out on James Milner, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson. A lot of experience has gone there. And this guy can fill in multiple positions. And I think we should welcome him to Liverpool, get behind him. He worked very hard to try and make sure this move happened. It's a dream for him to come and play in the Premier League. There's interviews going back as far as 2021 where he spoke about that, wanting to come play in the Champions League. We can't get him to the Champions League just yet, but hopefully next season. So I'm over the moon with it. I am. I'm delighted. I think it's a very good, astute piece of business that hasn't broken the bank.
And Jurgen Klopp has finally got a solution to his defensive midfielder crisis. Let's be completely real. Endo is a stopgap. He's 30 years old. He's not first choice, second choice, third choice. Dare I say, even fourth choice. Decore from Crystal Palace being linked up. But you can also have that thought process and still say that he's obviously got a lot of quality. And for a lot of people, he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the Bundesliga last season. So you can have both opinions at the same time. Let's just talk about what this deal brings. He's 30 years old, nearly got relegated with Stuttgart last season. He's 7th in Bundesliga in terms of distance covered. He wears a gum shield when he plays football. So this is a combative, aggressive guy who's actually very good on the ball. Some of his passing numbers are fantastic as well. He's even got a good long strike on him as well. So he is a good footballer. He looks like a good footballer. Liverpool need world-class players throughout the spine. And they need that investment every single summer, forever, as long as football exists. And Endo clearly will never be that because he's 30 years old. He could be good for now. He could be good next year. But, I mean, look at some of these long-term contracts these players are signing. Lavia's 19 years old. It's only upside. It's obviously a lot more expensive. I don't know why Liverpool couldn't go in for 70 million for Lavia. If you're going to do it, if you're going to play that kind of game, Liverpool are a massive football institution. Jurgen Klopp must be pulling his hair out. And I do think Endo is not a positive transfer in the long haul of Liverpool Football Club. They needed Lavia. They needed Lavia, in my opinion. That's it for Endo. He's never played in the Premier League. He only joined European football, 3-4 years ago, playing a lot in the Japanese league, with all due respect, isn't there yet. So it is a big gamble in that regard. I think Endo, good player on his day, looks solid. Looks like he's a hard-working guy, important player from this kind of Japanese generation that are doing so well, and look at Matoma as well. So I think it's exciting on that smaller level, but long-term for Liverpool, I'd be slightly concerned.